Today in this video tutorial we will learn how to connect to MySQL database in C# Visual Studio 2026. So first we will go to this create new project. From here I will select C#. From here I will select Windows, and from here I will select Windows Forms app. You can see here Windows Forms app .NET framework. This is the old version and this is the new version. So we will select this. Click next, and here I'll name this SQL Connection PRJ. Click next and click create to create the project. So the project is created and we have this empty Windows form inside it. So first let me show you the database. So for that I will go to this browser, and you can see here phpMyAdmin MySQL is open here, and inside this we have this passenger_safety_db, and inside this we have these three tables, but we will get data from this bike drivers. And if I expand this, you can see we have this data in our bike drivers table. So we will retrieve this. So I'll minimize this, and here I will drag data grid view on this form. So this is data grid view, so I'll drag it. Now I'll expand this side as well and to the top as well. Now I need a button, so I'll drag in this button. I'll change the text on this button to connect to DB. Now I'll double click on this button to create its click event. So now its click event is created. Now to connect to MySQL, we need a library called MySQL.data. So I'll go to this project, right click on this and come down to this manage NuGet packages. I'll go to this browse, and here I will search for MySQL.data. Now you can see here this first one. I'll select this. I'll click on this install button. I will click apply here and accept. Now it has installed MySQL.data. You can see a green tick here, and it will also be available in the install tab. Now you can see here. Now I'll close this. Now I'll again go to my form. I'll expand this button a bit so that the DB also appear. I'll double click on it, go to its click event. First we will create our connection string. So I'll use string on string equals. I'll close this so that we have more space. First I take the server, so I'll use server equals local host semicolon. Then it takes the user ID, user space ID equals root. We are using the root user semicolon. Then it takes the database passenger_safety_db semicolon. This is our database, and then it takes the SSL mode. We are using SSL mode because we are not using any password, none, semicolon, and then I will put semicolon at the end. So our connection string is created. So now we will create our connection. So MySQL connection, this one con equals new MySQL connection, and it takes the con string and semicolon at the end. So this MySQL connection is in the library that we have installed in our project, and when this is used, it will import MySQL.data at the top, as you can see here, using MySQL.data.MySQL client. Now we will open our connection. So con dot, and I will put semicolon at the end. Now we will create our query. So string query equals select static from and our table name, which is bike_drivers. I'll put semicolon at the end. Now we will create our SQL command, and to which we will pass this connection which we created and this query. So I'll use SQL command, MySQL command cmd equals new MySQL command, and it takes a query comma con, and I'll put semicolon at the end. Now I'll use MySQL data reader equals cmd dot execute reader, and I will put semicolon at the end. So this line will store all the data in this reader. Now we will load this reader into a data table. So we will create a data table. dt equals new data table. Let me close this and semicolon at the end. Now dt dot load, and here I will pass in the reader, semicolon at the end. Now we will use this data table as a data source for our data grid view. So data grid view 1 dot data source equals dt semicolon. Now if I run this, so now you can see our application is running, and if I click on this connect to DB, so it is showing us an error. So as you can see here, it is telling us unknown database passenger safety DB, which means our safety spelling is incorrect. So I'll come here and I will use safety and now I'll stop it and run it again. Connect to DB, and as you can see here, it has retrieved all records and showed in this data grid view. So in this way you can connect to MySQL database in Visual Studio 2026 and can retrieve data. So I think that's all for today. I hope you like the video. If you like the video, please like, subscribe and comment. Thank you.